Hi guys, Hengist here from House Hengist Comics. Welcome back, Beansters, and a happy new year to you. Today it is Blitzkrieg, episode 22, TIENEN. First, our news slot, and let's reacquaint ourselves with the tactical map. It's a great map because it's colour-coded by day and progression of these penetrations by the Germans, and they're moving up towards Hanut, or Hanut. And basically this map shows the counter-attacks, and TIENEN's in the north, as seen here. Now this is going to be part of the dial line, the iron wall so to speak, which was basically partially completed, and it had sort of it was interlinked with marshes, bogs and concrete, so it's really defensible. Well, we're going to look at the correspondent and what he's saying, because clearly the Belgian forces are beginning to fall to pieces. They're beginning to unravel under the pressure. Their mobile elements are basically having to plug the gap so to speak. And it's their anti-tank guns which are proving to be a bit of a star really in their defence. But when these aren't supported by infantry or other arms, they are very vulnerable. No HE, of course. We've also got bicycles from the Germans still moving up, but a lot of the German infantry, as we've said, are exhausted. We've got new elements and forces coming in out of the Ardennes. The Stukas continue to maintain the pressure, and a nice photo here with the infantry supporting the armour. But where the Germans aren't moving, they're hastily refuelling, and artillery is now online out of the Ardennes. So let's look at the Belgian forces as well today and what they are. Well, they're confident trained 3rd Lancers, former cavalry, now motorised infantry, with machine guns and rifles basically in their infantry platoons. They'll be supported by some anti-tank guns. But in a command sense, they are split. They've got one force is holding on specific orders, and the other are basically coming in to try and secure the bridge. They'll have standard support weapons, but there's going to be lots of problems. The German forces, well, they are kradshutxen in the main, supported by motorised infantry and armour. The infantry will tend to be confident trained, the armour confident veteran, and it's these Panzer Is, as we can see here, which are great workhorses, along with our favourite tank so far, is the Panzer II, which does so much again. And we haven't seen a lot of the heavy armour appear yet, because it didn't at this stage. So let's look at the research and what this is all about. Well, it was a very difficult one. There's a lot of chaos in the Belgian situation, and basically we didn't find a lot of information, but Sam Gillis, or aka Gilly Suit as I've called him now, dug out some stuff which was really helpful for me and gave me the basis for this. Fortunately it looks as though it's been captured. However, at Hallen we're going to see a more urban combat, and that will follow on as the second sequence to this game, and it's important because the Germans will split their forces in order to deal with both problems. So what is the mission and the set about? Well, with very limited information, we had to go really on a testing game. So I've looked at time, rail, behind the lines and activation. All these elements are going to be intermixed within this game, and we're going to see how this all works, because we're going to have some of the Belgians coming back through the German lines. We're going to have the bridge, the bunker, basically having to be covered by only part of the 3rd Lancers, and so they've got a number of problems already from the outset. And I think this is rather interesting, which will make the game rather intriguing as to whether they can set up a defence. So effectively what we're looking at is 12 turns, basically with the Germans trying to exploit the position, penetrate, take either bridge and get 3 platoons off the table. That's quite an ask given the situation. The train will be running randomly through that. I don't know what's going to happen with that, but we'll look at the rules around that and derailment if that occurs. And now for something different in Nolan's directorial style. Sit back and enjoy. Let's get into the battle action, guys. gentlemen, is Blitzkrieg. I hope you enjoyed that sort of homage to Christopher Nolan. I love his directorial style. Fantastic, basically, movie. Perhaps the history needs a little bit of a look, but it was magic, and I really enjoyed it. But this is just the first part, and ultimately, stand by for Hallen as we see a lot more action. So, where is the bloody RAF? In the meantime, a spotlight. Paul Denning at Wow Buildings is going to start sending us some stuff over. He's going to be setting up next year. Here's just a sort of token number of slides of some of the work he does. It's fantastic in 20mm, 28mm and 15mm, guys. So he'll be available next year. In the meantime, we've got Operation Amsterdam coming up. And in the meantime, guys, do take a moment and never forget the fallen and the sacrifice. And as Steiner would say, it's Happy New Year, Beans. We'll be seeing a lot more of him. So until further ado, this is Blitzkrieg. I want you to stay safe. Stay warm if you're in cold conditions. Look after one another and have a very happy new year. So from me, it's over and out.